Even everyone, and welcome back once again to Vicious Rants. And of course, I'm your host, the one and only, often imitated, never duplicated, backyard superstar Tim Vicious. And well, it's that time again. Like I always say, two most important Raws of the year are the ones is the go home show, the one before the pay-per-view, and the one right after. Now I'm gonna go and get into Raw in a minute, but before I do, want to get one thing out, really important. I don't normally go into something important right off bat, so I want y'all to listen up. really good girl that I know on Twitter. She goes by Simply Sabrina. She's been going through some issues. She's starting up a fundraiser to help build up for legal fees. Sabrina, once I can get the cash, honey, I'll send you a little. Right now, I'm a little tight because between bills and getting ready for Christmas shopping for the little guy and all. So, I hope you appreciate that. But, guys, go to her Twitter page. Make sure you talk to her. You don't have to mention me or anything. Just go check her out. Look her up. Ask her on how you can help. She'll give you the details on it. She's a good person. She needs what help she can get, and I'm not trying to make this sound like a poor pity me story. It's not. It's just she's just asking for somebody to help give her a helping hand in the matter. All right. So, anyways, now to get back into character and to get vicious. Raw. This week's Raw was the quote-unquote Raw Country, which I felt extremely disappointed on because there was no women riding a mechanical bull, there was no one shooting any tin cans with a rifle, and for the love of God, there was no cranky old town drunk carrying a bottle of whiskey around with him everywhere. Where the hell is the country at then? Anyone? Anyone? No? Okay. Started out with Hunter and Steph coming out, talking about on how they came back from vacation. They did the normal thing that people always do on vacations. Shake hand, kiss hands, shake babies, slaughter kittens, worship the Dark Lord Cthulhu, things like that. Wait, where'd everyone go? That's only what I do. I do that stuff sometimes. Anyways, they came out saying whose fault it is about with Raw last week, and Brad and Vicky wound up getting pulled out, and who knew that Vicky could actually speak low and in a nice actual voice? I was relatively shocked on that because always used to hearing her sound like my third grade librarian. With that nasally growl voice or with the screaming. And neither of them really worked for her. And then you got Brad Maddox, who, looks like he should be doing modeling for GQ more so than working in WWE, but them two are going back and forth saying, no, it's their fault, no, it's their fault, it's their fault, it's their fault, and then Hunter and Steph basically say, stop! You both are getting punished. And she puts Vicky, sorry, getting over a bug, so deal with it. She put Vicky in a match against AJ, which was actually kind of funny to see, and Maddox into a match against Randy, which put a match in against Randy and no disqualifications, and the match starts now. So it was actually kind of funny to see because it's like we're seeing the heel Randy Orton of old, but in a much more toned down way, which is kind of nice. Because you don't need like the legend killer or the kind that'll go and try and make you bleed or break bones or this and that kind of shit. No. Because you got to remember, it's PG still. But doesn't mean you still can't have him be sadistic. It's just on how you play it. You know, and I'm not trying to sound like fanboying here, but it's just like on how Hunter's song says. It's all on the game and on how you play it. That's on what it is, more than anything. Coolest part of the match was when Maddox had the microphone and boom, caught Randy right in the head with it. Next thing you know, it just looked like Randy snapped like, motherfucker, I can't believe you just hit me. And then he started going to town on him, and then he grabbed the mic and just boom, boom, boom. Brings a whole new meaning to the term boomstick. Yeah, which was very impressive. You know, the ref had to cancel the match. It's a good way to show Randy has a dark and mean side. That was the story behind that match. I know people are going to say, and the point of that was what? It's to show that he's got a dark side and that he's got a mean side. Anyways, next matchup was Big E versus Curtis Axel for the Intercontinental title. Now, I knew the second that they announced that match, Big E was going to win. And I, for one, am glad that I was right. And I fucking called it right when they said, this match is up next. Next thing you know, boom. Because now we're going to see because we saw the rise, and now we're going to see the fall of Curtis Axel. Because he climbed up, and now he's got to work his way. It's like I said before. They give you a push, and then they drop you down. For whatever reason, I don't know. They just do it, and it's probably to see on how you can build yourself up after that. Now, we're seeing Axel's drop, so now he's got to climb back up, and I'm talking about he's got to have something going for him that's all him and all natural, like on how Stone Cold was Austin's. That made him go all natural, you know? Anyways, the match was actually really solid. Both sides were doing really good with it. Still really annoyed over Axel's finisher just being a regular old neck breaker. I mean, you could have him just go and do the perfect plex or have him do like a submission, you know? Have him do like a dragon sleeper and just have them say that it's some glorified move and just name it something different, you know? But anyways, Big E, he got Axel up, boom, big ending, 1, 2, 3, Big E won. It's really nice to see. Random information I actually didn't even notice until I wound up seeing it show up on my Twitter feed. Big E is actually the first person from NXT to win the NXT Championship and then a main roster title within the same year. So that's pretty impressive, you know? Anyways, next matchup they got Big Show versus Ryback, and, you know, word has been on the sheets for a while that Ryback's been getting heat on him from the bosses in the back, whether it's because of his attitude, his footwork, his ring performance, you know, the fact that he was doing Goldberg moves. All I can truly say is, you know, people can go and say, hey, Ryback had Big Show up for a shell shock over his shoulders. Yeah, he picked him up, and then boom, dropped him. Anyone can pick up a large chunk of weight and then drop it right then and there. That's nothing big. When he could do like Goldberg and pick Big Show up on one shoulder for a jackhammer and hold him up for like a good 15 to maybe 30 seconds, then I'll be impressed. But either way, Big Show won the match. I wasn't really all that impressed with it. You know, it just, didn't seem right. Anyways, next matchup, it was that Swagger and Antonio Cesaro versus Miz and Kofi. Kofi looked like he wound up getting painted in Smurf blood before he came out with all that frickin' blue and yellow, and apparently we know who's going to be the next guy on the WWE sales merch table. So, The match, it's good that they're showing that the real Americans are they're having them get more wins, making them actually like a force to be reckoned with, which is good. Kofi was getting basically mopped all around the ring, and just as he was about to go and hit the hot tag, Miz dropped down and had that evil snobby grin on his face, in which case, thank you for finally making him a heel again. He's a hell of a lot better of a heel than he is a face. And I know I give the Miz I talk a lot of shit on the Miz, but here's the thing. He is a semi-okay wrestler. He's not the kind of wrestler that if I was making a promotion, I wouldn't necessarily have him be one of the top tier guys, but I would have him be one of my guys at least. He's a good wrestler. He can work the crowd. He can have you hate him in a New York minute, which is good. Anyways, Miz dropped down. Kofi just had that look like, A2, Miz. And then Swagger had the ankle lock in, or his piss poor attempt of an ankle lock. Angle can do one a hell of a lot better and break a person with doing it. But, either way, Real Americans wound up winning the match. Next matchup, it was AJ versus Vicky. That was kind of funny because Vicky went to go and try to play the, oh, I'm too sick, I can't. And Steph, while Vicky was still strapped down in the gurney, in the stretcher, wound up getting told, Steph looked and said, she can get treated after a match. Felt like I was watching me correct my son when he did something, because he will go and say, no, Daddy, I want to do this. Okay, son, you can. Right after you do what I just said. Felt like I was seeing a parent scolding a child, which was nice, because you're not having the heel boss be over authoritative, authoritative. There's my made-up word for the day, kids. Not being like drunk with power as an authority figure, but not, it's nice seeing going with that kind of a role. Anyways, the whole time Vicky's like squirming in the stretcher, like no, 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 and then AJ's music hits and the crowd wound up lighting up like crazy. And I still say God bless AJ, because she's the only woman on the roster that will actually wear the championship title, unlike some of the others who always carry it over their shoulders. It's a damn title. It's meant to be worn around the waist. It is a sign of prestige and honor, and they all want to just let it go over their shoulder like it's a fucking dollar store handbag. That pisses me off all the time. Anyways, it was good because the second Vicky got unstrapped, she stood up, saw AJ. AJ was just like, hi. Boom. Vicky fell over, rolled out the ring, tried to walk away like, I'm getting away, I'm getting away. Boom. Bumped into Tamantha, Big Mama cooled Tamina, and then saw her, was like, oh shit. Got tossed back in. Not even a whole 5 seconds in, AJ wound up putting the submission in. Big problem I had with that was the second she didn't even have it locked in all the way and Vicky started tapping. Way to no-sell the fucking move. Way to sell the fucking move, Vicky. Also, another thing that pissed me off that I wound up calling the second it happened, they did some god-awful musical chair thing with the rest of the women on the roster. And that was just an abortion that was just a piss-poor attempt to try and build something up, because now they're they're going to make a Survivor Series match with all the ST Divas on the reality show versus the ones that aren't on it. If anything, I feel sorry for AJ, Caitlyn, and Natalya, because them three are basically going to be the ones that are carrying the entire match. And I swear if I wind up seeing Ava's Got Herpes and Rosa in the ring at the same time, I am going to just walk away altogether and just say, fuck it, I'm done. Anyways, next matchup of the night. Ziggler versus Sandown in a Broadway brawl. It just doesn't sound right. You know, I mean, it was supposed to be a street fight, but it was with musical instruments. In which case my son would have been in heaven because musical instruments are his thing. But it was a good it was a nice, good, solid match. Ziggler and Sandow, I haven't seen them two do a bad match with each other yet. And, you know, Sandow, he kept grabbing the electric guitar a couple times to try and swing at Ziggler. And he really is selling this whole aggressive, I'm pissed off bit really well. You know, and Ziggler, well, I don't need to say nothing. Like I said before, he's supposed to be the son of Mr. Perfect. Yeah, but yeah, they wound up using the instruments back and forth on each other. Fiddles, flute, keyboard, you know. And then Ziggler grabbed the snare drum, boom. Grabbed the bass drum, boom. Grabbed the drums, toss it over him. Then grabbed the guitar, and then El Kabong right on him. 1, 2, 3, and then he picked up the guitar. Then he picked up the electric one and did the Jeff Jarrett strut. You know, I was just waiting for him to start yelling, "Don't piss me off," like Jarrett used to during his Attitude Era run. You know, but anyways, that was one of 3 matches that saved Raw that night, in my book. Next up, it was 3MB doing the Rhinestone Cowboys bit now. Versus R-Truth and, wait for the big shock, Xavier Woods. Yep, Xavier Woods came up from NXT. They brought him up onto the main roster. Thank God. He good solid worker, really good on his feet, hell of an athlete, it was nice to see Xavier Woods in the match, and I jumped for joy, literally, right when he wound up yelling, "It's Morphin time!" I thought that was the highlight of that match right there. Not any particular move or anything else, just him yelling, "It's Morphin time." Yeah, but R-Truth and Xavier got the win. It was to be expected because he brought up one of the high-profile talents from developmental onto the main roster. You know, what did you expect? Anyways, next up, it's the main event of the night. And before I do, I just want to say the big thing that I'm mad about with the main event was this main event was something that should have been put on the pay-per-view itself. Not on the free show. This feels like something Bischoff did just to, like Bischoff would have done, just to get ratings, you know. And the main event, it was the Jobbers, the Usos, Cody and Goldust with Punk and Bryan versus the Wyatts and the Shield. Now, I've already seen last week that the Shield and the Wyatts were going at it, and when they all came together, they were screaming at each other like, "Yeah, what? You want to work with me? You want to work with me? How are we going to fucking do this?" You know, animosity. It was good. I would really like to see this go in a nice way. But WWE logic, I don't know. It's like WWE creative is taking advice from TNA creative at this point. I can't figure the fuck it out. Anyways, the match itself was really good. It was nice seeing it because it showed in-house fighting between the Shield and the Wyatts because they were only tagging each other. The Shield was only tagging the Shield, and the Wyatts were only tagging the Wyatts for a while. And until eventually, when all hell broke loose, then they were tagging each other. You know? Anyways, Punk wound up blocking the Anaconda Vicing, got the win. Everyone started going on top of each other. Wyatts and the Shield had the upper hand. Next thing you know, cue the music. Who comes out? Rey Mysterio. Ray's back. I don't know if anyone else noticed this, but when Rey walked out of the gorilla and came out to where the public could see him, he had a little limp on him. And we all know Rey's got knee issues. And, you know, personally, I think it was nice seeing him because he came down, did a few head scissors, and did a 619 on I believe, Reigns and Harper. I know it was Harper, but I don't remember which member of the Shield. But did a 619 on them both, knocked them out, and then he wound up standing tall and triumphant, and now he's going to be the new mystery partner for the Survivor Series match, where it's for Team Babyfaces versus Team Heels, where it's Goldust, Cody, the Usos, and Rey versus the Real Americans and the Shield. I'm just pissed off because Survivor Series was one of my favorite pay-per-views to watch as a kid growing up. And for the love of God, Survivor Series is nothing like it used to be anymore. There's no more emphasis on the Survivor Series matches. It's always on the other matches. And I am getting pissed the fuck off over it because Survivor Series is one of the big four. One of the originals. One of the last few. King of the Ring got taken off the chopping block. And I guarantee if Survivor Series don't wind up living up to its name, that one's going to be taken off the chopping block next. You know, Survivor Series should be emphasized on tag teaming, but instead, what does WWE do with tag teaming? They treat it like it's a piece of shit. They treat it like it's shit, and all they ever do is just make stupid little jokes to the fans that actually remember Survivor Series back when, on the night when the Montreal Screwjob happened. And it's unfucking cool. It's not fucking cool on my end. I don't see it like that. Anyways, that's all the time for this week's rant. So, like I said at the beginning, look for Simply Sabrina on Twitter. If you can't find her doing the search, look for me on Twitter at Tim Vicious. And look for her in my follow list, in my following or follower, either or. We've talked to each other a good bit every now and again. And make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, go back, watch all the other episodes. Don't forget to check out Axel Mulligan's blogs. He's now moved them onto his Facebook page. Check out Jose Skullmageddon's check out Jose Skullmageddon's game reviews. Both of those guys are very well-educated wrestling fans. Make sure you check out Oliver Benz and the Masked Marks TNA Turnaround. A really good show. Every now and again I'm on there. Make sure y'all check it out even when I'm not on. It's just as good when I'm not on. I like it when I am on, well, because I'm on. Also, make sure y'all check out all these cool-ass cats right here on Twitter. My brother from another mother, James Belmont, JX2001, that Roxy Girl _ it's V Bitch, James, Roxy, and Vicky all got their own YouTube channels. Vicky, I know I said it to you that day, but I'll say it to you now. Happy birthday, or in this case, happy belated birthday. Excuse me. I am Danny Sunday, Monkey Morris, Heldon Robinson 82, Meow _ Cakes, Jerry Soriano, Team Custom Made, Cranky Asshole, Stacy Impact W Fan, Legion Lady Aaron, and Legion of Nerds. And like I always tell y'all, you love me great, you hate me. Fuck you.